Are you ready for a 100% completion of Resident Evil 0? Yeah? Cool. Then let's get into it. So as always, we hit that new game and we chose to go hard mode. This might have been a mistake, but we're going for it anyway. And boom, there's a train. It gets attacked by leeches. You know, we find the train, we jump on board, we progress through the train, and then we find ourselves against our first boss and our first achievement. So this big old scorpion boy drops down from the top of the train. I don't know how he gets up there or what he's doing up there, but he's inside now, so we gotta deal with him. We got the hunting rifle, so we shoot him a couple of times. He hits us once. And then I realize I can just shoot him in the face and stun lock this boy. So we just keep shooting him in the face and then we make him dance. Look at that, someone's making him dance. Woo! And eventually he goes down and we get that cheeky achievement pop. This was then followed by our second achievement when we came up against some doggy boys. They grabbed hold of us, we shook them off, and we got the achievement Sit Boy Sit Good Dog, which is to escape a grapple by a dog. No worries there, it's in the bag. The third achievement came fairly quickly when we combined an empty bottle with some gasoline to make some Molotov cocktails, giving us the achievement This Is How You Recycle. We then progressed onward and we had to apply the brakes to the train because it was going to crash, so we had to input some codes and apply the brakes. We did that, but the train still crashed anyway, but we still got the achievement for completing the train section, which is pretty nice, and somehow we survived, so you know, it's all good really. Aside from the fact that the zombies also survived and they overwhelmed me pretty heavily and caused me to have my first death, which is pretty sad, but you know, always reload and go again. And that's exactly what we did. We made it back, and then Billy saved Rebecca from a zombie, which netted us the achievement Here I Come to Save the Day, and that you did, Billy. Good job all round. And then we progressed onward. We made it to the Umbrella training facility. We ran into some more zombies, got chomped on a little bit, but we doubted them, found a shotgun, and then got our next achievement to zero in, which was basically to get a critical hit, so we blew a zombie's head off. And, you know, with a shotgun, that's pretty easy, right? So, good stuff there. We then found a crank and got attacked by our good old friends, the crows. You know, it's glad to see they're still knocking about. And then this crank was used to send Rebecca up a little lift. She ran into a bug, put him down, and then we got to another area where we found a first facility key, which is pretty nice. This triggered our second boss fight. This big centipede boy came busting through the grate, picks up Rebecca because, you know, he's an affectionate guy and he just wants a little hug. But Billy's like, he's a jealous sort and he wasn't happy about it, so we had to put him down. Now, we were heavily unprepared for this because Rebecca had all my stuff, the shotgun included. So we had 2 rounds of the hunting rifle and pistol, which was not ideal. As you can imagine, that did nothing to him. So we had to run off, grab some more ammo while Rebecca got hugged. Came back, shot him up, that wasn't enough. So we had nothing left, so we had to go get the knife and knife him up. And by then we were too late and Rebecca got huddled to death. But we came back for round 2, made sure Billy had all the equipment and he was ready to deal with this boy. A couple shotgun shots, a little Molotov cocktail, an extra shotgun shot for good measure, and he went down and we got the achievement for defeating the centipede boss, which is pretty tasty. Once we had defeated this boss, we then continued progression on the training facility, completing a bunch of puzzles, collecting a bunch of key items to then unlock new areas. And while completing all these puzzles, I died a good amount of times because this is hard mode and it's pretty difficult. When I compare it to Resident Evil 1 and stuff, these enemies hit a lot harder and yeah, they put me down pretty quickly. But as I was doing all these puzzles, I got pretty sick and tired of this mimicry Marcus guy roaming about and slapping me up. So we put him down with the grenade launcher with the napalm rounds and got ourselves 2 achievements. We got 1 for burning an enemy, and we also got 1 for killing a mimicry Marcus with napalm grenades or Molotov cocktails. So that was a good 2 for 1. I'm not going to complain about that. We finally completed the statue puzzle and weighed them out equally, revealing a new area behind the picture in the main lobby, which then introduced us to our old friends, the spiders. They're still in this game, they're still about, so you know, I got what about poison and stuff now. We found ourselves a vent and we decided, you know what, Rebecca, get yourself through there, alright? And yeah, she ends up in a very questionable room, and then she gets attacked by monkeys. This monkey chomps her shoulder a little bit, he gets pissed when he gets thrown off, she falls down a hole, and then we have to save her. So we make our way over to save her, and then we end up in a room of 3 monkeys. They corner us, they kill us, we go back with the grenade launcher, we take 1 out, and then we get killed again. And then we go back for the third time with the grenade launcher, we take him all out, and then turns out Rebecca's not even there. We gotta go downstairs to actually get her, which is pretty sad. And as we went to go find her, this guy hiding underneath this bed decided to give my toes a little chomp. No worries there, and then his buddy came along and hugged me from behind, which is kind of nice of him, but you know, I'm not really feeling it. But yeah, that unlocked the dead ski achievement, which is to stamp on a zombie's head, so that's pretty good. So then we finally make our way downstairs, there's more monkeys, we take care of them, and then we finally get there in time to grab Rebecca's hand as she's about to slip and pull her up, so good stuff, we're all reunited and everything's good. Now that Rebecca was saved and we got her back, we started progressing through the mansion to try to find the 3 tablets to progress onto the next area. And while we were doing this, we then bumped into our next achievement. We basically shot one of those monkey boys out of the air and got the alley-oop achievement, which is pretty tasty. Not bad, good choice. And as our search continued, we didn't find a tablet, but we did find a piano, which then led to an achievement to calm the zombies' nerves. Rebecca plays the piano, but not very well, but you know, it's still an achievement, so we'll take it. But eventually, we did pick up all the tablets, and we were able to unlock the next area and next achievement to complete the training facility area, which is pretty good going. The tablets unlocked a new passageway straight into this ominous looking church. This is where we found our 3rd boss fight, so only one of the pair could go in. We chose Billy, we went into this church, and then we found ourselves against a giant infected bat of all things. And yeah, we got our next achievement, not for killing the boss mind you, but for getting picked up by this boy and flown around. Like, look how ridiculous this looks. But we got the on level wings achievement, and then he did it again and dropped us and killed us, so you know, that's bad times, but you know, it is what it is. We went in for round 2, we shot him up a couple of times, the fight was going pretty good, and then he summoned in all his baby boys. And they were just a nuisance, like they were just getting in the way, and then they started slapping me up good and proper. Look at this is crazy. But we finally hit the last couple of shots and put him down, unlocking the achievement, Die Devil Bird. Pretty good stuff, not too bad. I didn't really like that boss fight, it was kind of annoying, but you know, we got there. And then sadly, we needed that hook shot, which I left back in the main lobby of the training facility, which meant going all the way back, running past a bunch of monkeys, taking more damage than we really needed to. But it was kind of fortunate because we also got another achievement by going back. I found a case earlier in a locker, but it was locked by a padlock. I didn't know the combination, so when I picked it up, I examined it, and turns out the code is actually on the briefcase. So we opened that up and got some pistol parts, which we combined with the pistol, unlocking the next achievement to create our custom pistol, which is pretty It was a little bit late popping there because I got all the way back to the church before that even popped, which was kind of strange. Now we had the hook shot, we climbed on top of the church's roof, climbed down the ladder, pulled the lever, which activated an elevator, which then got us into the laboratory. And sadly I caught another death here because you have to split up, one person goes above, one person stays below. And while I was playing as Rebecca, Billy called for help because a zombie in the room with him that I thought was dead woke up and chomped him up and he died, so you know, that's pretty sad. After this mishap, we got through this area pretty easily, it wasn't too rough. We basically found a leech capsule, stripped that down with the stripping agent, and that gave us a blue leech, gave that to Billy. Billy went through the blue leech door, found himself a little tube, and a green leech. We gave that to Rebecca, who then opened up the green leech door to then find the little boy crawling towards us. We just kept shooting him, he got kind of stun locked, put him down, and then picked up the sterilizing agent, which we then put into a device to clear out all the gas in this little room. Went inside, grabbed the breeding room key, went in there, found some hunters, dodged past them, grabbed the dial, and then ran out of there. But Billy was in trouble again, so we had to quickly switch to him, sort him out. And then we tried to sort Rebecca out because she was in danger, so I got some green chemicals and thought maybe that might heal me a little bit, but it did absolutely nothing, which is a shame. Although it did give us the achievement Green is the Color, which is to use the green chemicals. I'm still not sure what they do, but you know, I'll take the achievement. Then we sent that dial down to Billy. We then used that on the door that was missing the dial. We entered the combination, made our way through into the tram area, restored the power, went to get on the tram to get out of here. And then a monkey jumps down on top of Billy, starts beating him up a bit, sends him over the railing, he's gone. Rebecca's like, oh no. And then one of these mimicry Marcus dudes shows up behind Rebecca, and he puts me down several times because I'm on danger and that's painful, and yeah. But we finally got him, we took him down and made our way into the tram, found ourselves a cheeky magnum, and then we were on our way to our next achievement, which was to complete the laboratory. So that section was finished and done with, and the achievement was in the bag. Pretty good stuff. And then we progressed forward and got to this elevator, activated that, and then some rubble falls behind us. What's going on there? It's a tyrant, that's what's going on. He gives it a big old roar. He takes a swipe, we dodge, and Rebecca does a sweet spin. Very nice. So we get trapped in this small room with him, we're locked in, we stun him with the magnum, but he jumps at us, he slaps us across the room, don't worry about that. He jumps again and slaps us one more time and puts us down, pretty sad. We get knocked out again, we're low in health and it's pretty difficult, but you know, we persevere, we shoot him again, we stun him, and then we realize that if we stay next to that big old bubble butt, then he gets a bit confused. We get another stun, pretty easy stuff. And yeah, we kind of abuse this until, well, he kind of catches on a bit, and we run past him, and he does a 180 attack, and, you know, puts us down one more time. But it's okay, we commit to the strat, we keep sticking next to that big old bubble butt, and eventually he starts whiffing his attacks, and gives us a chance to get these final few hits, and he's down, he's on the floor. He tries to get up, but he can't quite make it, and we get the achievement for putting Proto Tyrant down. Very nice stuff. Along with the factory complete achievement, which is a 2-in-1. Very nice stuff. I'm pretty happy about that. And then we find Billy. He's stuck to a rock. We shout Billy. He then gets swept away into some grating. See you later, Billy. We'll find you later. Don't worry about it. And then we reactivate the power to this whole treatment plant thing. So, you know, we start making our way through. And then this big old Leechy boy shows up. We just run past him because I'm not dealing with him. And then we get our next achievement by trying to push this little metal box. And, you know, we're not a bodybuilder. I'm a medic. So, yeah, achievement time. And then we find Billy, we're reunited once again, and then we bump into a bunch of naked zombies. I don't know what they were doing in here, but it seems like a party. So we kind of put those down, we get a cheeky headshot, which is pretty nice. So, you know, we keep shooting them, they keep getting up, Rebecca gets chomped on a little bit, but eventually we take out the last couple, and then we can progress onward. Towards our next achievement and boss fight is Prototype Tyrant. He's sneaking in through the water. It's round 2, so let's see what happens. He basically just bullies the crap out of me and slaps me around all over the shop until I die. So, you know, that's good. But we come back with Billy. We got the reinforcements. But, you know, he slaps us both 2 for 1. Very nice stuff for him. But, you know, we start putting him down. He slaps us both again. And then we run past him. Billy takes the hit for us, but we hit him with the shotgun, and we hit him again while he's down, and he actually goes down for real this time. Billy's running into him because, you know, why not, right? That's Prototype Tyrant down again, giving us the achievement for defeating him. Very nice stuff. And then straight after this, I was running along with Billy, and this giant toad popped up, grabbed me by my ankle, and basically just ate me. He smashed me on the floor, and then swallowed me whole. But never mind that, we moved forward and we found ourselves a battery. We created some battery fluid, put that into the battery, then we put that into a forklift. We sent Billy up, he picked up a key card, and then it was on to our next boss fight. So this guy starts spouting some stuff about wanting revenge on Umbrella and how everyone's going to burn in an inferno of hate or something. And then he just starts throwing up leeches, which is nice. And then he turns into a giant leech monster thing himself. And then that's the boss fight, so here we go. So, you know, we just start absolutely unloading into this dude with the magnum and shotgun. Billy gets grabbed. We keep on loading the magnum. We do a quick reload. And then a couple more rounds. And then Billy gets taken. Oh, my God. But don't worry about it. He's okay. And then we got clothesline. So, you know, that's always fun. And then Rebecca did a 180 and the boss was dead. I don't know what happened there. But, yeah, killing the boss did something. But then we got 2 keys. Put those keys into the door. And we got the achievement for using all the keys. Apprentice of Unlocking. So that's using all the keys in the game, which is pretty nice. No achievement for killing the boss though, which is interesting. So it was time for the final boss. We hit the elevator to escape, and it's not that easy, right? Because this big Queen Leech thing, or whatever it is, decides, nah, you ain't going nowhere. She charges the lift, and then it's go time. We start unloading. Rebecca gets absolutely sent. We're in danger, so we do a cheeky heal, because, you know, gotta keep that health up, right? Now, I was a little bit worried about this boss fight because my ammo was looking pretty scarce, so I was wondering if I had enough to take this big girl down. But we kept sending grenades and shotgun shells straight towards her, and eventually she did go down. And then a little bit of sunlight peered through, and yeah, she did not like that, which gave Rebecca the idea to open up the windows. I mean, it's more of a shutter, but if you want to call it windows, then go ahead. Which meant that we entered phase 2. We had to protect Rebecca while she started spinning these wheels to open up the hatch and releasing the locks. So we just had to shoot this boy and distract and run around and keep him away from Rebecca. which was kind of hard to do because he really liked Rebecca. And also I had like very limited ammo, so hopefully I didn't run out. But we got the first lock undone, which is pretty nice. Rebecca got when she was running past, sorry about that, which left her in danger, and Billy had the only heal, so it was kind of hard to pass that over to her. So, you know, we kept trying to distract, and we got hit about a little bit, but don't worry about that. We had the heal, and then this boy started doing some weird stuff on the wall. I'm not sure what that was, but you know, I'm happy for it. It kind of killed a bit more time. So we got a couple more locks undone. We are on to the last one, and we ran out of ammo. This is not ideal because I don't know what we're supposed to do when we got no ammo, but he's still chasing us, which was kind of nice. We got jumped on, but thankfully Rebecca got that last lock undone, and then the shutter started opening up. Really upsetting this Leechy boy. He throws us to the ground. He tries to get away from the sun. Rebecca finds a revolver, sends it to Billy. He catches it. He says a corny one-liner and sends a bullet straight towards the Leech, and it absolutely tears through this boy, sending him down the elevator shaft. And then the self-destruct actually activates and burns them all up. We run for it as the whole place is coming down, and then the mansion explodes, or the training facility. It's not a mansion, it's a training facility. And then Billy finally got his handcuffs off, chucked him away. I'm not sure why he kept him on this whole time. Surely they were like in the way and a bit of a nuisance, but you know, whatever. And then Rebecca takes his dog tag and says, "These are mine now, and I'm just going to leave." And then Billy gives it a good old thumbs up. I guess he liked that. And then we got ourselves a cheeky achievement dump. So we got the 0 to hero, finished the game on hard mode, along with Hey Queenie, feast on this, which is to defeat the Queen Leech. And then the final achievement to complete the treatment plan. Very nice stuff. 3 achievements, pretty good stuff, right? So completing the game on hard mode unlocked Leech Hunter and Wesker Mode, 2 modes with achievements tied to them, so we'll take a look at those at some point. But first we're going to chase all those achievements in the base game before we start looking at those additional modes. So for our next playthrough, we hit the new game with the intention to not heal throughout the entire game, so as there's no heals involved, we're going to hit the easy mode because, you know, we can't heal throughout the entire game. So the playthrough began, and so did the achievements. We got an achievement straight off the bat by changing our costume, which was pretty nice. So we progressed through the train, and I got Rebecca stuck in the room, and then I kind of thought I want to do the achievement to get all the boss kills with Rebecca, and I can't do that if she's stuck in the room because you can't get past the scorpion boy. So yeah, I had to restart, which is a shame. But we got changed again into a nice Western outfit instead this time. So we made sure to get Billy stuck in that room, and it was Rebecca's turn to take on the big scorpion boy, which she did pretty easily. This easy mode is easier than I was expecting. It took like 3 or 4 hits to take him out. Pretty easy stuff. But he did get a cheeky hit as he was dying. In the dying animation of all things, he did slap me once, which is you know, I guess he gets 1, I suppose. And then while progressing through the train, Rebecca did get grabbed once, only slightly, but that dropped her health down the yellow caution, which isn't a great start, but you know, we're going to press forward. And then we finished the train section, and Billy was looking fine. Rebecca was still in yellow caution, of course, because there's no hills, but you know, not too bad, not too bad. I kind of wish they were both fine, but you know, it'd be alright. So when I got to the training facility, I figured I'd do a quick save and get myself a couple achievements. So we got the knife out, and we went to the bathroom to find the mimicry markers. And then we just started knifing him up. We took his head off. He had a hug. We knifed him. He gave us a hug. It was like a slash hug trade, you know what I mean? And then eventually I took his arm off, and he just started slapping the crap out of me. But, you know, eventually he went down. We cut his body off, and then he exploded, sending the leeches all over me. But we got the achievement I Have the Touch, which is to take out a mimicry markers with your knife. The first one you encounter. So the one in the bathroom is the one that you want to do. And then alongside that, we never actually killed an enemy with a knife. So we actually got another achievement, which was guns are too quick. Defeat an enemy with a knife. So yeah, 2 for 1. Pretty nice. We then progressed through the training facility. It was pretty easy. Enemies went down without too much trouble. 1 shot here, a couple of shots there. And then it was time for that big old centipede. He's an affectionate kind of guy. He picks up Rebecca again, gives her a little hug. We put a few shotgun rounds into him, and eventually he goes down. I think it took like 5 or 6, so pretty weak stuff. And yeah, he's down, and we're good to progress. We made quick work of that training facility and got those scours balanced, and then it was in to face the spiders, which were quite dangerous because I really didn't want to get poisoned here. We got nibbled on once or twice, but thankfully no poison, and we made it through just fine. And then I wasn't taking any chances. We got that shotgun out and made sure to take him down nice and quick so they didn't have a chance to poison us. And then we saved Rebecca, killed a few more spiders, no problem, got all the tablets, and we put them back where they belonged, and then it was time for the church, time for the big infected bat. It was Rebecca's turn to have a go at this boy. And then we hit a cheeky save just so I could get the achievement for killing 16 of these bats in this fight. So we took out the last couple and got the winged spawn of Satan achievement, but they did leave us in danger, so we're gonna have to hit that reload and fight this boss properly. We're doing a no-heal run, and yeah, danger's not the way to go, so let's hit that reload. So we fought this boss properly, took him down pretty easily. He wasn't too bad, you know, it's easy mode and all that, but that's the second boss down for Rebecca. And then we went to the laboratory, and Billy was still looking fine, and Rebecca was still in yellow caution, so pretty good stuff. So we started progressing through the laboratory. We dealt with this Leech guy with some Molotov cocktails, because, you know, that's the best way to take him out. He went down, no damage taken, which is pretty nice. And then we picked up a couple of key items, and then sadly Billy got grabbed by this guy hanging out of this drawer, which is pretty sad because it's unnecessary damage. I could have avoided that, but it is what it is, so you know, we'll press forward. And then we picked up a couple more key items, got bit by another boy, which is pretty sad, but you know, that's fine. It wasn't as bad as when we went to the hunter room, got cornered and got slapped up a whole bunch. But fortunately that only took Billy down to yellow caution. He's probably close to orange caution, to be honest. But yeah, Billy's a tough boy, and you know, he took it like a champ. We then got the power restored to the tram, we got attacked by a big old Leechy boy again, ran past him, set up to throw the Molotov, and it only took one Molotov, which was very surprising, so I wasted a Molotov, but don't worry about that, it's alright, he's down and we can progress. And then we made it to the factory area with Billy on yellow caution, same as Rebecca, so double yellow caution. Not too bad considering we're getting pretty close to the end, but we'll see how it goes. As it was time to take on Proto Tyrant, but being easy mode, he took 4 magnum shots and he was down. Pretty easy stuff. And the fact that we learned how to bait his attacks and make him whiff made it even easier. So, you know, he was down and it was, you know, time to move forward. And then it was on to the treatment plant. We found Billy, ran into some naked zombie boys again. You know, it's the party room. And one of them grabbed hold of Rebecca, only for a second, but it was enough to drop her down to orange caution, making it, you know, a little bit scary now, considering we've got a few more bosses to get through. So we pressed onward with Billy, and he found some more naked boys. He put those down pretty easily, but turns out one was still up, and he had a little nibble on Billy. Tastes a little nibble. Not good for me though, because that put Billy down to orange caution, so we're both down to orange caution. Not good, but not a great deal that we can do about it. So we pressed forward, and it was time for Proto Tyrant version 2, round 2 with Rebecca. This is the third boss fight with Rebecca, but this guy was pretty easy. We just loaded up that magnum and just kept shooting, and he went down. Didn't even get a touch on me, which was nice. Then I realized I had pretty much all the files, so I decided to run back and grab a couple that I missed. I don't know why I didn't pick them up, but I just didn't. That way that when we finish the game, we can actually get the achievement for collecting all the files, which would be nice. We got through the rest of the treatment plant without taking any more damage, which was nice. And it was time to take on, there's a big old King Queen Leech boy. And this fight was pretty easy. All we had to do was hit him with the bap, 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 bap. And yeah, he went down. Just unload that magnum on that boy. And then it was time for the final boss fight, which was no trouble at all. Just unloaded that magnum and the shotgun, and he went down. And then we got the final file for the how to open the gates and stuff, and that popped the achievement file. Is that how you pronounce it? That's a really weird word to pronounce. File. Yeah? No? Anyway, I collected all the files and we got the achievement for that, so yeah. Good stuff. And I wasn't too worried about this last part because we were both on orange caution still, so plenty of health on easy mode, which was nice. So we just sent a bunch of grenades at him. No worries. Unlocked a couple of locks. Pretty good stuff. And we ran out of ammo with the grenade launcher, but that's okay. We still had pistol rounds. Rebecca got slapped, but don't worry about that. She's still in orange caution. Billy starts shooting at him. He gets slapped up. And now he's in danger. That was kind of scary. We got slapped again, so I start getting real nervous now because I really don't want to get hit and, you know, and to end the run. But, you know, we eventually got there. Rebecca hit the last one. That boy was coming for her, but don't worry about that because the shutters are open. The sun's come in. Rebecca sends the revolver to Billy. He shoots it, tears through that boy. Explosions, mansion explodes, and it's achievement time. That's Officer Chambers to you, which was to kill all the bosses with Rebecca, which is pretty nice. And then, of course, we got the achievement for Who's Got the Herb, which is finishing the game without combining herbs. And then followed by Allergic to First Aid Spray, which was to complete the game without using the first aid, which is pretty nice. And then finally, This Is Serious Business achievement, which is to complete the game without using a single heal, including the green chemicals. I'm not really sure what those are used for. Potentially they cure poison, but I never found out. But, you know, if you know, let me know. But yeah, big tasty achievement drop there. 4 achievements back to back to back to back. Pretty tasty stuff, and yeah, pretty huge for the account. So we jump into our third playthrough. We hit the normal mode because we want the S rank achievement, and to get that you got to complete the game in 3 hours and a half, but easy mode doesn't count. Easy mode doesn't get any ranks, so you know, you got to do it on normal. And to maximize our efficiency, we attempted to go for the no save run as well, so a speed run with no saves. Let's see how it goes. And it went pretty bad as we died on our first encounter with the zombies. For some reason, Rebecca kept trying to shoot the guy behind instead of the guy in front, and that messed me up, and then we got hugged by 2 guys, and yeah, they put us on the floor. But we loaded back up and went back in, and you know, we started progressing through the train and stuff. No problem after that little mishap. We gave that zombie a little slip. He's a bit of a slow boy, but don't worry about that. And then we dealt with the scorpion boy, and he just sent us flying down the train car, but we eventually put him down. No worries there. And then when we tried running down to the back of the train to apply the brakes, we got caught by a couple of boys. I probably should have put these guys down instead of trying to run past them. But yeah, they grabbed me once and put me in a sticky situation. I got double grabbed again with Billy, but he did manage to survive this. But he was left in danger. It wasn't a very good start. My confidence wasn't pretty high about doing a no save run, but we still pressed forward and we tried our best. We made it to that training facility and made sure to give Billy that tasty red and green herb to bring his health back to fine. And then we progressed through the training facility pretty smoothly, dealing with some zombies here and there, getting a cheeky headshot, running past enemies that we didn't really need to bother with at the time. And then it was time to take out the centipede boy, so we grabbed the grenade launcher and just sent a few grenades at him, shot him a couple of times, he went down. We then balanced those scales and progressed forward, killed a couple of monkeys, saved Rebecca, sorted out our inventory, so we took all the stuff that we needed to take with us, including the hookshot, and then put all the tablets into the machine, opened up the next area. And then it was time to fight the bat again, so we shot him a bunch of times with a shotgun, pretty easy stuff. The boys came in. We hit that cheeky reload, started shooting them up a little bit more, and then these bat boys started surrounding me. They slapped me up a good amount. They started eating all my shotgun shells, wasting a bunch of ammo. Had to reload again, but finally we did take this big bat boy down, and then we can move forward. And then it was time for the laboratory. We had the grenade launcher with a bunch of flame rounds, dealt with the Leech boy pretty easily, ran around, collected all the stuff that we needed to collect. We then made it to the breeding room and slipped past these hunters pretty smoothly. We grabbed the dial. I was feeling pretty good about this. That was pretty smooth. But on our way out, this boy stood right in our way and we just couldn't get past him. He's a big old boy. So then we started getting slapped up. They stun locked us. I was getting nervous. I was like, mate, this is the end. This is going to be the end for me. But we started using that shotgun and managed to take these boys out and get out of this sticky situation. We restored the power to the tram and got attacked by that Leechy boy. We ran past him, set up for that Molotov cocktail, threw it, set him on fire. He came through the fire, donked me on the head, and then followed up with a nice cheeky hug. Hit me with that combo. Taking that extra damage was pretty sad, but we did take him out and we progressed onward. So we made it to the factory, went downstairs, grabbed the key so we can activate the elevator to get down to Proto Tyrant. And then we had to run past some hunters, so I decided to try to run past them. We got past the first one okay, but then I changed my mind and I was like, let's shoot this guy. Shot up in the air for some reason, and then I got stun locked. And then this is when the panic set in. I didn't know what to do. Every time I tried to aim at them, I just got clipped, so I just couldn't do anything. And then eventually they took me out, which was the most painful death I've experienced. At this point, we were about 2 hours in, so I was pretty confident I had the speed run down. But yeah, we just had to restart and go again. But this time I decided to save. I know I'm a bit of a scrub for it, but you know, I didn't want to go through 2 hours to then get caught by those guys again. Which I'm glad I made that decision, because my next encounter with those 2 hunters, they clipped me up again, and I feel like if I wasn't saving, that panic would have set in, and they would have got me again. But I did manage to get away from them this time, which was pretty nice. And then it was on to Tyrant, who we took down pretty easily with the Magnum and the whole standing behind that big old bubble butt strap. You know, it all worked out pretty nicely, and he went down, and then we progressed onward. And then we just made our way through the treatment plant. It wasn't too bad. Grenade launched a bunch of enemies, killed the Leechy boy, did a puzzle with the boxes, which I was kind of worried about. I was worried I was going to mess it up and kill a bunch of time. But yeah, we did that pretty smoothly, which was nice. And then, yeah, we made it to Prototype Tyrant number 2. We took care of this guy pretty easily. The Magnum makes short work of him, stun locking him in place and all that. He does get a couple of cheeky hits, so, you know, gotta give him that. But yeah, we took out the shotgun and finished him off. And then, yeah, moving on. We fixed up that battery, put it in the forklift, got the key card, went to the next boss, and then we just unloaded on this dude with the grenade launcher and magnum. He eventually comes in and grabs Billy, but that's fine because Rebecca just sends a bunch of grenades at him while he's playing about with Billy. And then eventually he goes down and we can move onward into the final boss fight. So we quickly put this boss down pretty easily, you know, just unloading a bunch of ammo into him. And then we just opened up the shutters and yeah, that was that. And then we finished the game with a time of 2 hours and 31 minutes, which is pretty good considering that's about an hour lower than what you actually need. So, you know, I was happy about that. And then, yeah, we just went again and did the no save mode, but we did on easy because once again, I'm a scrub and I just didn't really want to do any more playthroughs of this game because I'm getting pretty sick and tired of it, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, we made it through the game pretty quickly, killed a boss here, killed a boss there, picked up an achievement to blow a zombie's legs off, which is pretty nice, misdirected hostility. So, you know, an extra achievement on the run, which is always good. And during this run through, I did make a point to make sure I made every combination of herb. So we made the 2 greens, the 3 greens, the red and green, the red, green, blue herb. We made the 2 greens and a blue herb, and then finally finished with the green and blue herb combination, which gave us the achievement Find Time to Combine, which is pretty easy stuff, not too difficult, but it's in the bag, and yeah, moving on. We continued on progressing through the game, killing the boss here, killing the boss there. We made it to the factory and I got some sweet revenge on those hunters that ended my run. So yeah, I just sent a couple of grenades at them and put them down. Not because I needed to, but because I wanted to. And then progression continued. We killed Proto Tyrant, you know, pretty easy stuff. It's easy mode, couple of magnum shots here. And then we killed the big Leechy boy, no worries there, just stun locked him until he went down. And then it was time to take out the Queen Leech, so we took her down, no worries, you know, just emptied a bunch of clips in her, opened up all the locks, and then, yeah, that was it. Resident Evil 0 completed for the 4th time, I believe. And we got the achievement for, you know, not saving, so save your prayers, achievement unlocked, pretty easy stuff, especially when you do it on easy. I wish I did that on normal, but again, I'm pretty sick and tired of playing through this game, I'm not gonna lie. And then it was time to do all the extra modes. So we began with Leech Hunter. I just decided to run around the map and just kind of get a lay of the land, seeing what's going on, seeing what kind of enemies are about. And then eventually died by some bug boys, but that's fine because we did get the achievement for just trying out Leech Hunter, which is always nice. I played several more rounds of Leech Hunter, getting my footing with this and finding out like where all the enemies are, what kind of weapons are about. Found out that there's about 3 different rotations of like leeches and weapons. So depends on what the first room looks like, depends on like what weapons are going to be about and what where all the leeches are going to be. So that was interesting to know. And then I eventually finished my first game and actually left the mansion without dying, which was pretty nice. But it was enough to get the achievement Leech-shaped hole in my heart, which was just to get an E rank or above, so pretty easy. But now it was time to dig deep and go for the A rank, as well as killing all the enemies within Leech Hunter, which is probably the hardest achievement in this game. This one was quite difficult and quite stress-inducing, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let's take a look. So we began the game and we were looking for the green and blue herb in the middle of the room with no leech on the staircase, because this indicates that the magnum and the grenade launcher are in this map. And the grenade launcher has napalm rounds, which are great for the leech, the mimicry markers guys. And the magnum, that just deals with the hunters and stuff pretty smoothly. So yeah, we got the map rotation that we wanted, and yeah, it was go time. We grabbed the shotgun in the sewer area with some ammo and made our way into the train crash area to deal with 5 hunters. Now I was aiming to kill them with 2 to 3 shots each because I wanted to save some shotgun rounds for some of these bug boys and whatnot. But yeah, you definitely have to be very careful with your ammo on this mode because they only give you like barely enough to kill all the enemies. So yeah, definitely be careful with how many shots you take. With that room cleared, we then moved around and killed a couple of zombies in different rooms with the handguns, and then any zombies that were led on the floor, I just let them bite Billy so that he can stamp on the head, saving a bit of ammo, and he's a big boy, he can take a couple of hits. So my primary focus was to kill all the enemies first because I didn't want to pick up any leeches, because picking up leeches would take up space in your inventory and you can't drop them. So I wanted to keep as many spaces available as possible for ammo, guns, heals, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we went around the whole mansion and killing all the enemies that we could find. And then we found a grenade launcher with 30 napalm rounds in, which was amazing. So we shared those with some spiders and some of those leechy boys, which was nice to get rid of. So, you know, some of the dangerous boys were gone, which is, you know, a bit of a relief. Then I got to one of the most dangerous rooms in this, which is the ones with the monkeys in. These guys are very annoying because the way they jump about, they waste a bunch of ammo if you don't hit your shots. And yeah, eventually I ran out of shotgun ammo during this fight, and they started stuffing me up. I thought they were weak and got the pistols out and just, you know, stood my ground and fought them. And they, yeah, they put me into danger on both my characters, which was pretty dangerous. But we got them, and then we got the Magnum, which is, you know, that's a game changer. So as both my characters were weak, I gave Billy the 2 green herbs, getting him back to yellow caution, and sent him off alone to finish off the rest of the boys with the Magnum. Magnum put down these hunters pretty easily, you know, one shot here, one shot there, pretty simple stuff. And then we stumbled across the medical room that had a first aid spray in, which was amazing because Billy got another heal along the way, making himself fine, and then Rebecca got that first aid to make herself fine, so we were looking pretty comfortable now, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. And then we continued onward, killed a couple more hunters, let a couple of zombies bite my toes and stamp on their head. And then we took out some bug boys, which you can do at the top of the staircase. You could just stand there and they can't actually reach you because they get stuck in like the opening or whatever. And yeah, it's free kills, so you know, just stand there and take those boys out. And then it was time to clear out the last couple of rooms, so we killed out a few more mimicry Marcuses, killed a few more zombies. There was a couple more hunters, but we had enough magnum rounds to take those ones out. And then it was just, you know, it's just a room with crows in, so you know, those were easy to deal with. So yeah, that was all the enemies killed. And then it was time to go leech collecting, so we ran around the mansion collecting a bunch of leeches. We left Billy with a shotgun so he could only pick up 40 while Rebecca picked up 50, because once you hit the 90 leech mark, you get some respawns, so some rooms get some more enemies in. So we hit that point, and then we loaded up Billy, and then we went hunting. So the first room with a respawn was the waterfall room. It had 1 bug boy in, so we had the shotgun, took him out pretty easily. That was the last of the shotgun that we had, so we had to switch to the custom pistol with the pistol rounds moving forward. The next room we found was in the basement area, kind of where Rebecca falls down that hole just before that room. And we had about 4 or 5 zombies in there, so we had to deal with them. They did get a couple of nibbles, which was kind of sad because I don't have any heals left, and I really don't want to die at this point because that would be pretty sad. So we got those guys cleared out, and then we went to the other basement with the animal puzzle room. And yeah, there was a couple of zombie respawns there, so we dealt with those. And then we went out to the balcony and dealt with the respawns there, killed a couple, got a cheeky headshot, and then moved onward. We went to the night door corridor and killed a couple of zombies there, and then I started running out of ammo, so I had to go back to the main lobby to pick up a new pistol with 15 rounds in, but yeah, ammo was getting pretty scarce at this point. After picking up that fresh handgun, we went to another corridor that had some more zombie boys in. We dealt with them, and we were left with only 4 bullets left. So we went back to the main lobby to pick up our last pistol that we had with 15 rounds in, and then headed off to the final room. It was the kitchen. So we made our way into the room. I took out one, put him on the floor. The other one bit me. Well, I wasn't too worried. I had a good amount of health, so I wasn't too worried. I put the other one down again, ran towards him because I thought he was dead, span around to deal with the other one, and he started getting up behind me. I started getting a bit nervous. I got bit one more time, so I'm really nervous now. And yeah, I got stuck on the zombie because he didn't like fall on the floor straight away, so then I got bit again because I ran into him like an idiot. And then I ran past that one, and I was panicking. I'm not gonna lie, I was really panicking. So we put that guy down, and I was wondering, how much ammo do I have? I got 5 bullets. Not good. Can I kill these 2 with 5 bullets? And I really can't get touched here again because I am on danger. One more bite and I am dead, and the run is over. I am nervous as all hell. We put one down. That last one doesn't go down with the last bullet, but we managed to run around the tables and get out of there. We called in backup from Rebecca because, you know, I'm not dealing with that. And then I thought to myself, wait, I've got 1 shot of Magnum left, right? So we picked up the Magnum, we sent Rebecca in, and, you know, I was ready. I was ready for it. I just need to find out where he was. He came past the window, and then pop goes his head, and then pop goes the achievement. All enemies defeated in Leech mode. I could not be happier to get this. What an achievement. That was not easy. It was not easy at all. So then after this, it was a simple case of running around with Billy, collecting a bunch of leeches, the last 10 remaining for him. I was nervous with this, even though I got the achievement that all the enemies were dead. I was really worried that like an enemy was just going to show up and kill Billy. But it wasn't the case, and yeah, we managed to escape the mansion with all 100 leeches, giving us the achievement, a weird, interesting leeches, finished Leech Hunter with a rank A, and that gave us a bunch of fun little rewards for the main game. So we got infinite ammo, we got the Magnum revolver, which is nice, and yeah, we got to do the game again on Wesker mode. So I'll have fun with those on Wesker mode while we get the last couple of achievements, because, you know, Wesker mode's kind of a joke mode anyway. But yeah, we had to jump straight back into Leech mode because there was one last achievement to get, which was to collect 50 leeches of one color. So we kind of ran around again. It wasn't too hard because I wasn't so worried about hitting all the enemies. So yeah, I just ran around with Billy. He had all the weapons and stuff. He did all the damage. Rebecca was there to pick up all the green herbs as we went round. So in comparison to the last achievement, it was pretty easy stuff. Although I did get caught by the mimicry marker, so I don't know what was going on. I just couldn't get past him. I started panicking again, and yeah, he almost took me out. But it's fine. We eventually made it out the front door, and we got the achievement for collecting 50 leeches of the same color. Who needs partners anyway? So you know, that was Leech Hunter 100% completed. No need to go back to this disgusting extra game mode. I feel real sorry for the people that got bugged achievements on this, because I have heard that people killed all the enemies but didn't actually get the achievement pop. I mean, if that happened to me, I think I might have cried, but you know, luckily I wasn't one of those people, so thank God for that. But yeah, all that was left now is Wesker mode, so you know, let's take a look at that. And so we began that Wesker mode. I was pretty looking forward to this.
Been fantasizing about me, have you?
Yes, I have, Wesker, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, we got involved. Rebecca looked pretty cool in a Wesker outfit. It was pretty fun to run through the game with all the extra weapons, the infinite ammo that we got from the Leech mode, with the SMG and the Magnum revolver, so that was pretty fun. We then focused on staring at zombies with Wesker to get the 50 kills using his Death Star, so their heads popped. We got the achievement, but sadly there was no achievement pop. I don't know why, but we got it somewhere along the way. I guess Xbox just wanted to ruin the content and not have that pop-up show up. But you know, it's okay, we got the achievement and you know, it's in the bag. We then finished up the playthrough by taking out the last couple of bosses with the greatest of ease. The Queen Leech got absolutely stun locked with the Magnum revolver, giving Rebecca free roam just to run around and do all these wheel lever things. And then yeah, we just opened up the shutters and that was it. We got 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is pretty similar to my speedrun time, which I was kind of expecting faster for Wesker mode, but you know, it's alright, don't worry about it. And then we unlocked the costume for Rebecca, so now she can have the Team Wesker outfit while I'm playing on the main game. Which then unlocked our next achievement, so we equipped the Team Wesker outfit, and strangely the achievement didn't pop straight away. We got at least a third of the way through the train section before that achievement eventually popped. But don't worry about that, it popped in the end and it's in the bag. So now we just got one more achievement to get, which is to collect all the weapons, which was a bit of a pain, and I'll tell you why. So it turns out that to get all the weapons, you gotta do it all on one save file. So considering that I've done Leech mode and stuff on my normal mode run, which was the speed run, I never actually made the custom handguns on this run because I was trying to be as quick as possible, right? So this meant I had to run through the game one more time to get one custom handgun, and then I had to redo at least a good third of the game to get the second custom handgun. I really didn't want to do this. I was getting sick and tired of this game. I am sick and tired of this game, but you know, we persevered, we got through it. And so we managed to get the first briefcase and the pistol parts to make the first custom handgun, which did progress the achievement tracker, which was nice to see. And yeah, we just quickly put down all the bosses with all our, you know, special infinite ammo weapons and Magnum revolvers and some machine guns and stuff, and made it to the end. And then we reset to doing the next playthrough to get the second custom handgun. And I got hit with something that I didn't even realize was a thing, and it was kind of annoying because I just didn't save because I didn't think I was really going to die with the Magnum revolver and all that. But yeah, this Scorpion boy hit me with what I could only deem as an illegal move. I've never seen him do this before, ever. But he hits me with this finisher kind of fatality blow, and yeah, pin me against the wall and stab me in the chest, and that was it. I was dead. And yeah, that was a bit of a pain because I didn't save because I wasn't really expecting to die. So yeah, I had to restart, which is a real shame, really. But we eventually made it to the briefcase again, took the pistol parts out, put it on our gun, and then realized, whoops, I've put it on the same gun as I did last time, which really sucked. But luckily for me, I was expecting myself to be dumb, and I saved just before, so I reloaded that, got the briefcase again, and put it on the Star's gun instead of Billy's gun. And then the achievement popped and we were done. We were finally finished with this nightmare of a game. I mean, I say nightmare. It was pretty fun. I did enjoy it. But yeah, it gets to the point where you get sick and tired of running through the same game time after time after time. You know what I mean? And that is it. That is Resident Evil 0 completed 100%. It took a lot longer than it should have, but we got there in the end. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the journey. If you did, why not drop that like? Comment down below. Tell me about what you think is the hardest achievement in this game. And subscribe to see more 100% completion videos. And with that, that's me done. So once again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Nice one.